So hey y'all, so I'm back. Um, I really like talking on my YouTube. I'm not gonna lie. It's just that um, I have to get on a certain level to talk on my YouTube. I don't know why. I don't know why. I have to be in the mood to talk on my YouTube. But I did want to come on here and sort of talk about a few things that I'm watching right now that's going on in politician media and what's going on with America, right? So right now, I just watched the Hank Hugo interview with Tucker Carlson, and I know it may be weird that you be like, girl, what you doing watching Tucker Carlson? I know. I mean, imagine me. I was just surprised when I fell in love with Candace. I cannot believe I like Candace. I cannot, because I think that a lot of times the media had me thinking that I hated Candace based on what how they portray her, right? But then I started actually watching her podcast and see what she actually believes in. I've learned that I think the only thing I completely identify with Candace, some of Candace points when it comes to, I think, anything grassroots for black people, I'm not going to agree with Candace on. I don't think Candace is into the grassroots black people, but as far as America versus other countries, what's going on, calling out their Middle Eastern country that we can't talk about, and calling them out for their for what they have done to our country. And so I completely agree with her on that. I more so identify more with Dr. Umar on Black people grassroots, right? So, and it's not really a lot of people in the Black community that's even advocating for that. So I don't even know who would be Dr. Umar's competition, because Dr. Umar would be the Malcolm X of our time, but I think that he gets a lot of rep for the school, which is I think that's uncalled for, but that's not where I was going. I'm a complete advocate for Dr. Umar. I'm gonna ride for him. I'm gonna donate to the school. I'm coming whenever he comes to Phoenix. I'm coming to see him. I have an issue. I'm texting him, talking to him about the racism that I experienced. And guess what Dr. Umar does? Dr. Umar responds. If you reach out to him by text, he will respond to you. I have a thread with Dr. Umar that I talk to him about. And when I experience racism, I reach out to him and I tell him, right? But I support Dr. Umar, so whatever. But I like Candace Owens, and I like I again on that level where we are, because again, when I like because I like Candace Owens and I do like Tucker Carlson, that doesn't mean that I completely agree with everything that they say, but some stuff I do agree with and identify with, right? So, and I think that a lot of times the media wants you to hate specific. They want certain groups to hate certain groups. I don't think they want the black community to be following Candace at all. But Candace is very intelligent, right? We ain't gonna agree with her on grassroots. Some of us ain't gonna make it, right? So, and it's a few things like that with Candace. Like I don't agree on her stance on interracial marriage, but it's just it's certain things that we agree with. I agree with Candace on, and I agree with Tucker Carlson. But then again, I don't agree with Tucker Carlson because Tucker Carlson got this belief that white men are being discriminated against, which I would agree with from his stance, but um but that's because y'all come from a level of privilege. That's the only reason why you feel like you guys are being oppressed is because you come from a level of privilege. You're used to being the preferred group, but now they're saying, no, you have to consider people from other races, and the fact that y'all have to do that makes y'all oppressed. That the fact that y'all have to go through that makes white men oppressed Tucker Carlson. That's the argument that you make. Not that they have to consider people from other races and ethnic backgrounds that's oppressing white men, because it used to be an all white man sport. Now you mean to tell me a certain percentage of my employees got to be women, colored people? You're stopping white men from getting these jobs, right? That's the argument Tucker Carlson make, and I don't agree with him. I understand what he's saying, but I don't agree with him. Child, please. Ain't no way in hell y'all gonna do all these atrocities, bring all these people here, steal from these people, then tell them, get off my land. Get the hell out of here. Whatever. Now you're stuck with us. Now you're stuck with us. The greatest thing to America they're stuck with. And that's why black people are always going to be in this certain position, is because one thing America would love to do is that to kick all these black people out. If God could give them a dying wish, their wish is to deport the black people. All black Americans are getting deported. If it was up to the United States government, they would have been putting us out. That's why they got a secret genocidal plan against us. Please stop. These people been trying to kill us off for decades. That's why that's why they've been doing all this crime against us. In any other country, it would be, oh, let me stop because I don't want to get kicked off of YouTube. Right? So, right? So I think I'm just gonna say that if America had one wish that they could do to God, they could ask God for, and it just magically happen, is to kick these out. And the reason why is because they brought us over here to work and slave for them, not live amongst us as equal. I think we're black Americans are the only people in the world that has had to fight for their humanity. Like, we had to prove to these people that we are humans, because they didn't consider us to be humans. I guess we were robots, right? Do you know how the level of, and we weren't humans, we were property. These human beings aren't humans. They belong to us. This is our property. We had to fight for that. We had to fight. You need to consider us to be humans. We're not property. We're humans. Just like, it's crazy. I need to look that up and fact check that. But I haven't heard about that too much in history, that other groups had to fight for their humanity. That had to be court ordered. Isn't that crazy? Codified by law. When I mean to tell you, black Americans have just went through the worst of the worst in the world. I know slavery existed, but I don't think no one in the world practiced the level of um, inhumane activities as white America did in slavery. Because when I hear about slavery in other countries, I mean, of course, you were punished, right? But you see it lasting for a certain amount of years, right? You see it, oh, you stole something, oh, you have to go work for this. Oh, you did this, so you have to, like, it was being sentenced, right? Like a sentence. Not that you buy this person and then you can keep them for the rest of their lives. Don't have to give them anything. They'll never have to free them. And then you will be able to breed them, and then their children are your property. I don't think that that's something that other people practice out in the world. It was one of the greatest atrocities that could have happened to a people, and to keep them there for 250 years is crazy work. And then when you get done, just because you have to recognize these people as humans, you get done and you immediately go into this mode where you're trying to remove them from your country now that the government has forced you to recognize them as humans, now you've been trying to wipe them off out of the country. Oh my God. Let me stop before I get kicked off of Let me stop before I get kicked off of YouTube. Okay. So that's not where I was going. So yeah, so that bring I'm not gonna jump around. I'm not gonna jump around. Okay, okay, okay. So yeah, so we was talking to you. So I don't really agree with Tucker Carlson on that part. But he just did an interview with Hank Hugo. He has a podcast called damn, I was about to say Turning Point USA. That's because I've been watching Candace in that series. But not, it's called Turks something. Turks something. It's something like that. Turk something. I see him, I found him on Piers Morgan show. And I don't agree with him because he don't believe in reparations, which is crazy because he's an immigrant. That's crazy. And that's what I be trying to tell black people. Like, they want to lump us into this group called people of color as black people, and they want us to fight for other people to get certain benefits. And how dare black people ask for anything, right? How dare, that's why we do not need to consider ourselves people of color. Like, you guys get benefits from the Democratic Party. Black people don't get none from the Democratic Party. So I would rather, but Dr. Umar have said this. Dr. Umar said this years ago that they trying to lump us in with these people of color just so that they can benefit other groups and don't give us nothing. So they can benefit other groups. So I'm just not in for it. I am so sick of watching other groups, other minorities in this country get benefits and black people are not. And it's like we keep voting the Democrats in just so they can go in there and do everything for these other groups, which is rightfully so. But why is it that black people can never get nothing? Not specifically for us, when the Democrats have shown us that they can do specific stuff for specific groups of people, right? So I don't understand it. I don't understand it. So yeah. So I found him on Piers Morgan. He is I think he's a leftist. I mean, I wouldn't say he's right, but Tucker Carlson is way conservative. Um and I find that I feel like I kind of agree with them more than I agree with some of the Democratic parties. I think that the Democrats has this agenda that they want to push on us for us to be in complete confusion. Like, and they want to share it with our kids. Um they want to just give the they want to give our children rights, and then we lose the rights. Like, I believe the Democrat had a policy where, like, if you as a mother don't want your child to transition under 18, that you can be punished as a parent for not affirming that type of care. And it's like, who the hell is he to who is this child to decide? I decide. I'm the parent. I decide. I'm deciding, not my child. So I just stuff like that. I think I'm more leaning towards the right on that issue, and I think a lot of black people are more conservative if you really think about it. I just think that we just go with anything that the Democrats hand us. We just go with it. But black people are way conservative. They ain't with that. They ain't with that shit. They just scared to say it because they Democrats, right? That's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. I just think they don't know it yet, but they don't want us to um, they don't want us to even the Democrats don't even want us to consider conservative beliefs. I don't know what it's gonna take for me to vote for another Democrat. Somebody said put uh, Jasmine Crockett as vice president. I said, y'all got me toe up. You think I'm voting Jasmine Crockett for vice president just so they can put, just so we can put somebody black in there who's gonna play in our face? That's gonna play in our face just so we can vote for them? No. We need to be voting black people in the office that's gonna actually do something for black people because we think that they're gonna benefit us. It's they just want our vote. If we gotta put a black person, this is the Democrats. If we gotta put a black person in there to get them to vote for us without actually doing something, we rather do that than actually do something. And you know the Republicans ain't putting nobody up black. They ain't putting up nobody black or woman. They only probably think women should be in them positions. They think women should be at home. Maybe not that deep. Maybe I'm over exaggerating, but um yeah. So I don't know how I got there. So they're talking. I mean everybody is talking about the elephant in the room. And the elephant is in the room in America right now is that a Middle Eastern country in the Middle East that we can't talk about. That's the issue. That is the elephant in the room, and they are scrambling because now Americans, regular old Americans like me and you, are like millennials. The millennials, I don't think millennials are keeping up with what they're doing all over the world and why we're doing this and why we're paying for it. We're really the way we're looking at it, media, just in case y'all don't know, is that you claim to us that you can't afford to help us with nothing, even though we pay taxes, right? You can't afford to do nothing for us, but we see they're now putting it in our face how much money you're writing of our money, that we're in debt. We we don't make money, we're in debt. You're using our debt, basically writing us in debt so you can pay for weapons to pay for all these wars. So you're putting us in debt for that. And that's why you say you can't afford to help us with nothing. So we're like, um, why are you doing this? Yes, okay, this is the problem. And I think that they have lost it. I think that they had a good little run, but the politicians, if you getting money from that Middle Eastern country or any of their lobbies, you ain't getting voted in. I don't think that. I think what you need to probably do now is get up there and tell us, get up there and tell us that you're not going to be doing what they tell you to do, because this is all that what it is. These people run our government, y'all. Are we insane? They are running our government and they are corrupting our politicians. And if you have not watched the interview with Cenk Hugo, you need to go watch it. It's on Tucker Carlson's podcast. You need to go watch it. And it's completely insane. I don't know what we're gonna do. I'm moving. That's my goal. I'm not I don't want to live under this constant pressure that your country is about to be bombed because they're starting all these wars in all these other countries. And these people are like, you wouldn't let me do it. So why would you expect these countries not to retaliate? And it's almost like they like, well, we got bunkers. That's we gonna face some casualties, but it's gonna. I'm gonna be curious as to what they're gonna tell the United States government when they start losing men. I mean, what they're gonna tell their citizens once they start losing men. Like once we start losing our military men, that's when America's gonna wake the up. That's when Americans are. They don't feel it. They don't. I don't even feel like they have a problem with the spending. I don't think that. The spending is crazy. But then they tell us that they can't afford us. They gave Argentina $20 billion. Just gave Israel another, what, 10 million, 10 billion with a B? They writing $1 billion checks. And they telling us that they can't afford to help us with nothing. All they want us to do is go to work so you can pay taxes. Go to work. Go to work. We don't care if you're starving. We don't care if you can take care of your families. Do none of that. Go to work. right? It's messed up. I don't know what we gonna do. I know what black people need to do. Black people. Black people, black people, black people. We gonna have to stay, we gonna have to make a claim. What we gonna do, y'all? For real. I think we need to make a quick move. We either gonna ride or we gonna die. Right? Because once this thing start going down, we're gonna be the first ones they fire. Right? So, what I think black people need to do real quick, this is what I do. So let's just say it's 40 million of us, right? And I probably talked about this. This is my goal, right? Right. I'm gonna give y'all a rundown because it does make me happy to think about it. I just think of it as such a big task that I'm scared to start. But I'm gonna start. I'm gonna start really looking into that because that is sort of a dream of mine. That's how I want to contribute. And I think it can make a very big impact if I could get a lot of us on board. But it takes, I think it require I I'll just tell you the plan. And I don't care if somebody steal it as long as you're honest about it, right? This requires honesty and integrity, right? We got to have people that we trust because this can't be infiltrated by people who are working against us. So let's just say it's 40 million of us, right? Let's just say it's 35 of us, 35 million of us. And let's just say that I could get 20 million of us to give $20, right? So let's get the calendar and see what that's looking like, right? So 20 million, I probably talked about this, times $20. So that's $400 million, right? $400 million. So this is what I would do. I would first pick 10 black cities to put 10 banks, and I would probably give them both probably 10 million in capital or 20. If it had to be 20, then maybe I will just do 20 million. If it had to be 20, I'll do maybe 5 to 7, and then um, put up to 20 million. So let's just say that's 140 million. So now I got 300 million left. I want to put 10 schools up, 10 hospitals up, and I'm talking about buying them, rehabbing them, and sort of flipping them into a hospital, a privately owned hospital. We private over here. We own it. We operate in the way we want to operate. And I'm sure it's laws and stuff that America is going to make us hop through, but we got money, we going to pay for it. Right? So then we got 300 million. So we buying hospitals, we buying schools, we revamping them, right? And they getting loans and stuff through the bank because we put 7 banks in in the world. So our business owners, they gonna get the bank, they gonna get loans from the bank, right? My teachers who want their own schools that apply, we gonna give them schools, but they have to teach what we gonna create a subsidy where they are part of our educational program. We have a certain curriculum, it's private, and they teaching what we want our students to learn, right? And all the black kids, they unenroll out of public school, and they go into our schools. We ain't even dealing with the United States government when it comes to educating our kids, right? They all go to private school, and we gonna get all the certifications. We're a private school now, just like the United. I mean, whatever them private schools are doing, we did. We doing it. We doing it, and we created our own curriculum We got our own books, we got our own everything. If you want us to teach that, bam, that's gonna be in our curriculum, but that's not all that's gonna be in our curriculum. If they have to learn Anne Frank, if they have to learn that Christopher Columbus founded America, they have to learn that, they'll learn it. But other than that, we controlling what we're teaching our kids, right? Then, so we got the schools, we got the banks, we got the schools, and we got the hospitals, right? Now let's just say I got 100 million left, right? All right, and then um 100. Now we gonna open up some supermarkets and put them in the hood, in the hood, in the hood. Brand new supermarket, re-renovated. We got our own farmers. We got our own produce. We got our own products. If we just have to have, if we, because my thing is, if the store need a paper towel distributor, let's buy a distribution plant and produce paper towels. That's actually not a bad idea. Everything that we need in the store, we produce it in our manufacturing plants. So we're gonna buy a few manufacturing plants that's gonna produce everything we need in the store. So now that's jobs at the manufacturing plant, and that's jobs in the neighborhood at the supermarket, right? Right? And then whatever money we make off of that, because the next thing is gonna be is we're gonna redo it until we got black banks in every state. We got black schools in every city, every state, especially where it's a large population of black people, like Baltimore, like Philly. We'll have our own schools in those populations, in the South, in Memphis, wherever it's Atlanta, of course. These big black cities, of course, they're gonna be in those cities, right? So we ain't even concerned about that, because of course um we're gonna put them in those cities. But then after we get Black America straight, I say we go invest in other countries, because what an allyship that would be if we were the ones investing in Ghana to rebuild a school, or in Jamaica to redo their highways instead of the Asian people, right? What if Black America was funding African, other African projects to benefit their people? And what if we had a mining company or oil company, all because you donated $20, right? All because look at all this wealth, look at all this assistance that we can provide our people with $20. Now you got a hospital in your hood, you got a grocery store in the hood, all because you donated $20. Look at what these people were able to build with your $20. Now you got cleaner foods. Now you got free health care. Just go to the hospital. This is the one for you. This is the grocery store for you. This is what your $20 provided you. So you don't have to never worry about whether or not your kids gonna eat, because you going into the black grocery store and they gonna give you a box of food. Grocery stores don't even do that. Say for example, if you got some stuff, you got too much stuff and it's about to go bad in a week, right? How many single parents could you call and say, "Hey, I have some bread that's about to go bad in a week. I have some eggs that's about to go bad in a week. We have boxes up here of food that people need to eat, so we don't throw it away. So do you want to come up here and get you a box?" Right? What if that was what we were doing at the black neighborhood box, the black neighborhoods? Now, if you can afford it, you go get your food or whatever, maybe. But this is for people who don't have anything. They can come up here and get them a box, right? So, all because you donated $20. Look at all this assistance. Now you ain't now not maybe you never benefit from the $20. But look how it would benefit all these other black people, right? You didn't maybe you never benefit from the $20. But look at all these black people that we're able to assist and help. We got literally a black bank where black people can come in and get loans, y'all, for houses. And we ain't looking at their credit score. We ain't looking at, you know what I'm saying? We not judging them harshly because they black. This stuff is for them. So if they come in here and they're right there on the line of qualifying, we giving them that. They getting the house. They getting a business loan from the black bank, right? They ain't gotta worry about asking these other institutions who exercise racism and discrimination against them for anything because black people have their own. We don't have to ask you guys for these services because we have facilitated a way for us to ask ourselves for this money, right? Oh, wait. That'll shake some up. Because then who they gonna leech off of? Because they can't leech off us because we don't ask them for anything, right? We don't ask them for any of our basic needs because we are providing them to ourselves for ourselves, right? So imagine getting $20 and then you you getting $20 and now your child go to a private school for free. And the money we make because a lot of these service well maybe it's based on income because I think that we're gonna have to in the first few years, we don't expect things to be perfect. So I would say everything is free. If it was for me, I would say everything is free. But this is the caveat to that. Because if everything is free for everyone, then we're gonna have to figure out a way to keep having to fund these things, right? But that's why I would love for you guys to give $20 a month. If you gave $20 a month, that we would $20 a month, 400,000, no, 400 million times 12. I don't even know what that means. I don't even know what that means, but that's a lot of money, right? So we would have to be able to fund this stuff. But even $20, that's your Netflix subscription. And your kid is going to school for free because you pay $20 a month. And collectively, we're able to afford this. But of course, we would want to expand, right? Because we may have black Utah may be the last effing state that we put something in because it ain't no black people up there. But if the few black people that is up there, we want to eventually give them the services that we're able to provide. Of course, if it's if we can provide them outside the state, like if they wanted to apply for a loan, I would hope that our no matter what state he was in, our bank would be able to provide them with that loan. But like hospitals, right? Like they can't travel all the way to LA for a hospital, right? So we eventually need to put a hospital up there for the five black people that are up there. See, that's the way I be thinking, right? And maybe in Atlanta we need three hospitals because it's so many black people, right? So I think that we should build our own country in this country and provide ourselves with the services that we need. $20 a month, y'all. We gotta be on the same page. And I think that um damn, it just seems so easy to me. It's just that how am I gonna convince y'all to give me $20 without y'all thinking I'm trying to scam you for $20? And my thing is $20. Somebody scammed you out of $20? Really? We gonna spend that on bull crap. You spend that to get in the club. You spend that to get in the club. So if I did, let's just play role play. I would never do this, by the way. But say, for example, a million of y'all gave me $20. That'll be $20 million. If all you really got scammed out of was $20, is it really that bad? Did I really do y'all dirty? No. But anyway, whatever. If somebody was like, if somebody was like, oh, you remember when you donated your $20? That found out that came out to be a scam. I'd be like, oh, if that's all they got out of me, I was lucky, right? Well, we don't think like that. We always think that somebody is trying to scam you, but I don't want to scam you. I really don't. I want to be able to provide. I want us to start relying on ourselves, and that would be the reparations. That would be our reparations. If I could get 20 million of you guys to give me $20 for a year, that will be our reparations. That will be our reparations that we pay to ourselves. And I don't know why people don't look at it like that. Like it, I don't know. Maybe people haven't thought about it, but I just feel like to disagree with it is insane. And I would, but people always think you're trying to scam them. You gonna scam me out of my $20? And I'm like, and it's, but if we won't, but my thing is, if we won't follow, if you won't even donate to Dr. If y'all won't donate to Dr. Umar's school, then ain't no way in hell y'all finna donate to this. Oh my God, I don't even want to get on the school. It was crazy. Like it's so like I had actually never looked up Dr. Umar's school on whether or not he owned that school, but I did believe him when he said he owned it. As far what I when I follow him, he's always at that school. I mean, if he doesn't own it, he trespassed quite a bit, and he has other people there quite a bit trespassing, and that he can hold block parties in there, and he can open the school, he can paint the gym, he can turn on the water, he can hire all these people to do all this work for this school, but y'all claim he don't own it, right? But he has the authority to do this, to make all these changes and renovations to the school, which we see online all the time. If you follow Dr. Umar, you know the school, so I donate to the school. Then, um, and he's most vocal about it. He's literally out there asking people to donate, and black people won't donate to him. But then that's what I was talking. That's what I was saying. I had somebody reach out to me, basically saying that academics said that Dr. Umar was lying about the school because somebody posted online, and and I confronted my friend about it. I was like, so what proof that he has? Because people never have proof of any of this stuff. They just be spewing out stuff. So now Dr. Umar don't own the school. So I said, me doing a job that I know that everything as far as real estate is public record, right? It's public record. So you can look on any county and look up somebody's house. If they own a house, you know who owns it. It's public record. So you just look this up. This is easy. So I found the school that was closed when he purchased the buildings, right? They were already up. Somebody purchased them. So I found the address and I put the address in the county website, and guess what pops up? Dr. Umar's LLC pop up. Marcus Garvey Douglas, Frigley Douglas Leadership Academy pops up as the owner of this building. So I'm like, who the hell does that sound like? That sounds like Dr. Umar. So I don't really understand when people be like, where's the school? Like Dr. Umar is always at that school. It's a sign on the building. FDMG. So I don't understand when people say, don't, where's the school? It'd be like, everybody know where the school is. Everybody know where the school is. And if you would donate, um, if you would donate, um, he'd probably be done with that school. Like I said, if 20 million black people gave him $20, that school would have been built. That's $400 million. thing is, don't nobody vote, don't nobody donate to that school, and he has to wait on the funds to afford stuff. But then people will say in the same breath that school, it don't take that long to build a school, yet they have never built anything in their lives. And I'm like, that is easy for you to say, to be sitting back doing nothing, claiming that Dr. Umar's school should have been built, and you've never built a school, never done anything of that caliber. So who are the hell are you to say that that school should have been built? Oh my God, that school. Then they be like, he didn't build a school. He never claimed to build a school. He said he bought the schools and had to renovate them. And that's what he's been doing, relying on black people to donate so he can afford the school, so that he doesn't have to rely on other races and ask them for money. But y'all getting scammed. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. It's just sickening. It's sickening the way we think. But yeah, we'll go give $20 to the Asian spot for some wings and ain't gonna think nothing of it. I'm not making this about race. America has made this about race. America has made this about race. So I don't know. I went on the rant, y'all. I just don't. And this is free speech. This is the First Amendment. This is the First Amendment. This is protected speech. I'm not inciting violence against nobody. I'm not inciting nothing. I'm inciting a economic power move for black people. That's what I'm saying. A economic power move for us. I ain't inciting no violence against nobody. I ain't said do nothing against nobody. So don't be trying to. This is protected speech. I'm a citizen. I can say this stuff. I'm a citizen. This is the First Amendment. This is protected speech. Don't try to do nothing shady because I ain't saying nothing crazy. This is protected speech. I have a First Amendment right. That was codified by law, right? Because our ancestors had to fight to be considered humans. Whew, what a disgusting government. I ain't talking about them people in the Middle East. I'm talking about the United States. You can say it about the United States, you just can't say it about them. Let me stop. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay. They telling me that I have 50 minutes left in storage. You know, I decided to come back on and record a video. I just record and upload, y'all, for real. I do not really take I really don't come up with stuff. I just get on here and just start rambling about what's going on right now. But yes, according to them, we're waiting to see the outcome of that. I already know it's gonna be breaking news. It's a WAR that broke out in the Middle East, and because we why we have to fight, why we gotta go fight a war. Well, black people, I told you what we need to do. A power move. A power move. A power move. We need to buy oil. We need to create our very own rock. Y'all know what I said. BLACKROCK. We need to make our very own. So they can do it. We can do it. They can do it. We can do it. And look at how rich they are. 20 million of us, y'all. $20. We could really do something. Now imagine if 20 million of us agreed to do it for a year. Imagine the money that the money that we could pull together and the institutions that we could build for ourselves. Black hospitals, black schools, black transportation routes. Imagine it. Imagine if we had our own transportation company and we were transporting our people around the country, around the city, so they can get to work. What if we had our own ambulances, paramedics that will come and help you. That's what those that's the reparations, y'all. That's the reparations. Is to build our own Wall Street. So that's what we need to be doing. That's what we need to be doing. And I am not suicidal, just so you know. Not suicidal. I know it's very dangerous talking like that. I know. But I think that that's harmless. I if they do something to me that is nothing I can do, but it's not they gonna do what they want to do. They gonna do what they want to do. I ain't saying nothing crazy. I ain't saying nothing crazy and I'm not suicidal. Well, my family know I ain't suicidal. So I think that's all I'm gonna say because I'm about to run out of storage. But it was very nice. I like YouTube because I just get on here and just get the rambling. Anyway, peace out. Thank you for joining again.